He's down. Let's get going. You can see the stand. It's about 23 yards away. And here was the scrape. Straight out here, straight out into this bean field. There's the arrow and the lead. Complete pass through. Fuzzy 100 grain. There was the arrow. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16. Perfect 10-pointer. Perfect 10-pointer. Wow. It was a lot bigger than that 10-pointer than I shot last year. Yeah. That's a pretty neat night. Wow. Come on. Drag him down the hill. Perfect entry hole. Right on the money. Right there is the entry hole. I'm going to get him dragged down the hill. Get the tag. That makes it a little confusing. Trying to get him out of here. I hate shooting deer at nighttime. It sure adds a lot to the challenge. But not the biggest 10-pointer, but it was so neat. Here's my nice 10-pointer, typical 10-pointer. I've got him on a lot of video cameras, field cameras. That shot him at about 23 yards, and he's pretty nice. He'll go, a green scored him, he'll be right at 141. Big long bell tines. Those bell tines, they sell for 7 inches, and I got him with this one arrow, that 100-grain muzzy right there, and it quartered back, but that was all right. He didn't go 100 yards, and I got him running his death run on film, but Deb says you can't put that on your channel because it's showing something dying. But this old bow that I shoot is about 44 inches axle to axle, and it's a good bow. I've shot a lot of deer, a lot of animals with it. But I shot this guy the second, the first, I set the stand up for an east wind because there was a big scrape there. And he came right to the scrape and walked through it. But my biggest concern was my neighbor was putting anhydrous on to the picked bean field that he was going to, and fortunately they either broke down or stopped, and I got him right at 4:30. And boy, trying to get it out in the dark, but right there was the hit. This arrow, I found it like 10 yards from him, complete pass through, and killed a lot of animals, big animals, with that 100-grain muzzy. And they're probably the best on the market because you can buy them about anywhere you want them. And they're not trickery, they're just good broadheads. But hey, yeah, he came walking. The only animal I seen move yesterday, it was a cloudy, overcast day. It looked like it was going to rain any minute, and it didn't. And I seen him walking up there, and I got him filmed in those scrapes all over. His tarsal glands are really dark, and he'd been rutting hard. But like I said, if I knew how much work it was going to be when I shot him, getting him out of there in the pitch dark, and it had to have been the darkest of the moon, and you couldn't see 2 feet in front of you, even with the headlights on hardly. But he's a nice buck, and I want to thank John T. Buck for the clothing, for the coat I had, and Claude Masters for the pants I had on last night. Both those guys sent me those clothes, so a big shout out of thanks goes to both of those men. And I take him to Merlin Hope Taxidermy and get him mounted. But it was such a perfect shot, but I didn't have the camera on full zoom, and I didn't have time. I didn't want to focus off the deer because he was there. He was right where I wanted him to be, and it's just a great feeling when you see that walking up that trail, and you that's the part of hunting people don't understand. You set a tower blind up and you're going to go out to that same, there ain't much hunt to it, but when you got to pick a tree out of the thousands that are in the woods and get that close, you're hunting, you're scouting with a purpose, and you're setting a stand up. And I got several stands, probably 15 different stands. Some I don't even hunt, but this one was the first time I had a good east wind, and everything from above, from the lower down to the ground, told me to get in that stand. And it's not the biggest buck by any means, but he's a trophy to me. That's why I'm having him mounted. And I got to see him. He made a death run out in that soybean field, and there was no tracking job to it. You seen him laying in the middle of the field. But I'm glad they didn't come and put anhydrous on when I was trying to get him out of there. He definitely Pope and Young, if that means anything. But what it meant to me was the shot, and it took the lung out, and the arrow standing straight up or laying there, blood all over it. So it was just a great night and a great trophy. And I want to thank all you viewers for watching. And like I said, it was only the first time I set that stand was on an east wind. And I was so lucky that I finally got an east wind, because most of the winds were south and north, and you had to have an east wind for what that stand was. And the tree was just right, and the only tree that was close enough to that scrape, so you had to hold off. Well, that's it from the non-typical Norwalkian. Best of luck to all of you. And once again, I want to thank Claude Masters and John T. Buck for the clothing they sent me, because I had both their clothes on. I had the jacket on and the pants on, those two men, and I really appreciate that. So, well, that's going to put a wrap on it. I've got to get him going to the taxidermist. So, thanks for watching.